Hi friends, Happy New Year. It is finally 2025. We made it. God is so good and faithful, and I'm so glad that you are listening to me today. I'm so grateful that you tune in every time to listen to this podcast and also give me your feedback. Speaking of feedback, thank you to everyone who entered the giveaway and left reviews on the show. I really love reading your reviews and thoughts about a podcast, and it is my pleasure to announce the winners of the holiday giveaway right now. All right. The first winner is Shar. Thank you so much for your feedback, Shar. She said, "This podcast is so perfect for me as someone who is quite an introvert. The episodes boosted my confidence as a shy person and made me start my progress on overcoming my fears, especially since I'm in the university. There are a lot of opportunities missed because of my not believing in myself, so much appreciation." Girl, thank you. I made this podcast with you in mind. Every introverted woman out there with big dreams, this is for you. I'm glad it's helping you build confidence and walk taller in your purpose. All right. The second winner is Tracia, Holland. Tracia says, "My passion has always been healthcare. However, I chose a different path educationally. At age 54, I want so badly to obtain more education to finally follow the path I believe God has for me. This will lead me into retirement. Yes, it will take lots of effort, energy, and time, but I know I can do this. I have a plan. Thank you for helping me focus more on my God-given potential." Tracia, I am so excited for you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for taking action and also believing that you were made for more, because you are. I am just so happy to read your reviews, everyone. And just to know that the show has been helping you is so much comfort to me. So the giveaway might be over, but I always love to read from you. Leave me a review anytime. I truly appreciate it. All right, let's get to the show. Let's face it, entering a new year can be a loaded experience. You're excited about the possibilities ahead. After all, new year, new you, right? On the other hand, if you have big plans for the things you want to do and accomplish, it can be a mentally challenging and overwhelming time. What do you focus on first? Will you have time to do it all? What do you prioritize? Your goals or your mental health? In this episode, I want to share 3 powerful tips to reduce the overwhelm we introverts feel this time of year. Let's get into it. You're listening to the Driven Introvert Podcast, the place to be for dreamers, doers, and entrepreneurs who are ready to birth the dreams, callings, and ideas the Lord has placed in their hearts. Do you sense that God is calling you to step out and do something new, but you're held back by fear and uncertainty? Do you struggle with believing that you can do great things because of your quiet, reserved, and introverted nature? Welcome here. I'm Remy Roy, your host and founder of shepacked.com. I'm an author, an entrepreneur, a creative, and a committed trier. I'm here to help you get unstuck and make progress on your God idea. Let's go. So, new year, new you. But what if you already feel overwhelmed? If you're uncertain of what the future holds, that can make for an even more stressful crossover into a new year. I've experienced all of the above at different times. 2015 was the worst year of my life. I've shared this before in the For Those Who Feel Left Behind in Life episode. Everything that could go wrong that year went wrong. I was mentally and physically exhausted, so when 2016 rolled around, I was hoping for a fresh start. But as we all know, there's nothing magical about the turn of a new year. Uncertainties mounted, and so did the excitement about the possibilities that bubbled below the surface for me. I'm happy to report that I survived that roller coaster and the many that have succeeded it. I have also learned some useful lessons about how to stay calm and unhurried amidst the jumble of emotions and expectations that come with a new year. So here are 3 things I now take to heart, and I hope that these 3 things will help you as you transition into the new year fully. Number 1, manage your expectations. Expectation can be a tricky thing. We need it to be hopeful. Without expectation, we can lose optimism and the drive to really find joy in the mundaneness of everyday living. And with our very busy world, our hurry up, can't slow down world, we need all the joy we can get. But what happens when our reality falls short of what we anticipated? When the promotion at work doesn't come through as expected? What happens when we're laid off instead? Or maybe the business doesn't provide the results and the income that we're expecting. Or maybe the level we were excited to get to looks nothing like what we dreamed about. And now we're looking with longing eyes at the comforts of the past. This is when our ability to adapt comes into play. As a thinking introvert who prioritizes planning and the calm and certainty that comes with knowing what's coming next, this has always been a struggle for me. No one will describe me as the most flexible person around. But having experienced many instances of dashed hopes and unmet expectations, I have had to learn the hard lesson of the quick pivot, pivoting both in strategy and in my mindset. So what I do now when things don't go as planned is I ask myself 3 quick questions in order to quickly reset my mind and spirit. Number 1, is this the worst that could happen? Most times, it's not. Number 2, can I come back from this? Most times, you can. Number 3, what can I do right now to begin to move in a better and different direction? I feel like a lot of times we feel like we don't have agency, and when things happen, we're just at the mercy of situations and circumstances. That is not true. So think about these 3 questions every time you come to a situation that feels overwhelming. Is it the worst that could happen? Can you come back from this? And what can you do right now to begin to move in a better direction? It might just be a change in your mindset, a change in attitude, whatever it is. Those 3 questions will help you. I hope it helps you take curveballs in stride as you move further into this new year with hope and managed expectations. All right, number 2, protect your secret space. Protect your secret space. Introverts are not a monolith. Some introverts need space to themselves majority of the time. Others can do with very little alone time. But no matter your blend of introversion, you do need time alone to process and realign yourself. This is very crucial. If you're starting the year with a busy calendar, one of the best things you can do for yourself is make sure to protect your alone time. It doesn't matter what it looks like, right? It could be a quick reset in the car before you head into maybe your open plan office that you don't like, or maybe your house full of kids. It could be some downtime to think, to plan, and pray about your next steps regarding your business or career, or just some time to read a book, to listen to music, or stare off into space. No judgment, I do this all the time. The point is to feed your soul the best way it needs to be cared for. Protecting your secret place is important, mostly because there will be pushback against your decision to take a step back from constant action. Protecting your secret space is very important, mostly because you will get pushback against your decision to take a step back from constant action around you. Your schedule will push back or push you to your limits. Even sometimes well-meaning friends and family will have questions and comments about your reclusiveness. Like, why are you always so to yourself? It all comes with the territory. When you're thriving in mind, spirit, and body because you honored your unique needs without neglecting your responsibilities or those who genuinely need you, your world and those in it will be the better for it. So don't be afraid to protect your secret space. It's very important for you to thrive and be whole, especially as an introvert. All right, number 3, create your to-don't list. This is not a to-do list. This is a to-don't list. If you're driven and focused on being the best you can be, chances are you want to do all the things all the time. Every new idea seems like the one to pursue right now. I know that because this is exactly how I am. Your mind is filled with possibilities. Your imagination runs wild. But the truth of the matter is we only have space and time for so much before we drive ourselves to distraction, or worse still, mediocrity, because we can't do anything well because we're doing so many things. The lesson here is to simplify your to-do list and focus on the most impactful things. There's a saying that women are natural multitaskers. I agree to a degree, only because I have had to multitask on many occasions and I did my best with what I had. However, this is not the best way to thrive. When it comes to birthing ideas or doing work that engages my creative imagination, I do best when I focus on one thing at a time. And as much as I would love it to be, this is not always possible. So this year, I have a lot on my plate. I'm working with clients in my new business. I'm serving clients in my established business. I'm starting another project with a very special person. I'm recording quality episodes for this podcast. I want to be a mom who wants to be loving and present and available. I want to be a wife who really wants to be a helpmeet for my husband. Sometimes it seems like I'm about to burst at the seams. How have I coped and how am I coping? Practically speaking, I have a to-don't list in my head so that I can major on the majors and minor on the minors. There are things that will be an automatic no for me. Anything that doesn't move the needle will probably have to be thoroughly justified or it goes out the window. There's subtle time wasters and energy draining activities. They are certainly on the to-don't list. I started putting downtime on my phone for several hours a day, especially during the time when I'm with my son, because I need to reduce my mindless scrolling and tapping all the time in the name of social media promotions and marketing. This will really force me to be more intentional about the short time I do have on my phone and my devices. And for me, the outcome is more time, more intentional time, and hopefully positive results in the things that really matter to me. So these are the 3 tips that I would suggest that you pay attention to. Number 1, manage your expectations. Do your best and leave the outcomes to God. Number 2, protect your secret space. Find time to rest and recharge and feed your soul the best way it needs to be cared for. Number 3, create your to-don't list. You have to say no to subtle time wasters and energy draining activities that don't move the needle. As an introvert, I know what it feels like to always feel like I don't have energy, like I can't do so many things. So I have to focus on the ones that actually matter. All right. I hope these tips help you as you head into 2025. It's going to be a wonderful year, an amazing year. I feel it in my bones, but we have to do what we can do, the things that fall to us, and leave the rest to God. So do you have any tips that help you manage your time and your energy and your space? You can share them with me. You can email me at thedrivenintrovert@shepack.com. Happy New Year, friends. Let's make it a great one. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoy this conversation, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast. I'd also love your feedback on this episode. You can scroll down on your app and click write a review. I'd love to read your takeaways from this conversation. As always, don't forget to take courage, trust God, and go pursue your big ideas. See you next time. The Driven Introvert is produced by shepack.com and Remy Roy. Want to ask a question or share a comment on a future episode? Click on the link in the show notes to record your question in a voicemail.